Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And as we do every single day, we have 4 brand new decks for you. Indeed, tomorrow we'll probably actually have 2 videos, so it will be far more than 2 brand new decks for you. But where we are today is that we've got some of the best decks in Marvel Snap, including what I truly believe is the single best Day 1 Misery deck. The deck we're going to look at second here is a deck that stormed into the top 20 of the Infinite Leaderboard in the hands of the great Avazord. But first, we're going to look at one of the best decks in the game that we've sort of put off covering for a little while because Cam Best hit it so well on his channel. But this is Woody and Cam Best in collaboration, creating a mid-range shell. This is the evolution. This is where the good stuff deck lives right now. It is extremely strong, and it's really, really solid into the junk decks that are sort of everywhere now that Misery is everywhere. Because, well, it has 2 specific cards. It has Cosmo and it has Kitty Pryde. Kitty is an excellent card against junk, and she does a really good job at stalling out what your opponent thinks is going to be an easily won lane. And then you're just really, really well protected in a Cosmo lane and don't really have to worry. In addition, if you do get junked up, Claw can still sometimes steal that lane and get you extra cubes in the process. You can find Cam Best playing this very deck at youtube.com/@CamBest and a snap. Cam Best is one of the best Marvel Snap players in the world. YoWoody MJ is absolutely incredible and streams at twitch.tv/YoWoody MJ. This deck needs Kitty, Thena, Kate, and Agent Venom. If you have those 4 cards, you can play it. The other high series cards are not requirements. Agent Venom is extremely important here. Agent Venom and Bast create a redundancy in making sure that your deck has enough power to compete at the highest levels. Without those 2 cards, you often end up just short power just by a bit if you don't get your Thena going really early and you have a problem. Kitty is necessary both for junk and as a regular Thena trigger, and the other reason you need Kate Bishop is because you really want to be triggering Thena where possible. Thena gets big enough that Athena and like a 4-power Iron Man is enough to win a lane just right there. Silver Sable can be Nightcrawler in this list. Sable is better than Nightcrawler. Sable represents 1/5, Nightcrawler represents 1/2, but the movability of Nightcrawler does offer you some extra value. Cassandra Nova and Speed can be Gladiator, Elsa Bloodstone, Hope Summers, Polaris, and Angela. Basically just trying to figure out how to get extra power out of that spot, with the exception of Hope Summers, which gives you a little bit of energy cheat instead. All right, so this is a top win rate deck at the top of Infinite. This is 2 players in the top 20, Cam and Woody, have both played this at their lofty ranks at a mid 60% win rate. That makes this one of the best decks, one you should check out. So turn 1, you want Bast if you have any of your zeros in hand, more or less. That's usually better than Kitty. You especially want to Bast on 1 if you have Agent Venom. I know you're losing 1 off Agent Venom, but it's still worth it. Because after you Agent Venom, you basically never want to Bast again, right? So you play Agent Venom on turn 2 over absolutely anything, and he's often a snap condition. As soon as you can figure out what your opponent has, you can play him wait a turn and snap, but your opponent should probably run just because there's so much power represented by that card. And that's better than Kate or Thena, depending on your hand. If you have no other ones, I tend to prefer Kate to Thena, assuming you have the hand space, because I like to play Thena and a 1-on-3 where possible. If you don't have Kitty, then all of a sudden you play Thena and an arrow, and you're totally fine. You're also fine with a 2+1 for, turn 3, you go 2+1, or you play Cassandra Nova over Speed. Cassandra Nova is only really good on turn 3, but she is better later than usual, because if she's Basted, obviously starting her out as 3 instead of 0 or 4 instead of 0 if she's Agent Venomed is significantly better, and that makes her really worth running. Meanwhile, Speed is just really, really powerful. You spend all your energy in this deck. Speed should be about an 8-power card, which is why it can be replaced with Gladiator. Turn 4 is a 3+1. Cass or Speed with your other 1-drop is the goal here. If you would like to drop a 2+2, you're fine. If you went Agent Venom, and then you played Speed, and then you went Kate and Thena at this point, you'll be totally fine. Turn 5, you want Iron Man or Claw, and it's really hard to decide that, so you're going to have to get the hang of it as you decide. If Iron Man and they can't counter it, you've probably won the game, especially if you can Mystique it, and either of those get 3 or 4 power. So Iron Man or Claw, and then you want to Mystique that in Cosmo, whatever lane you think, because you should have priority after Iron Man, right? So you Cosmo wherever they're going to try and counter you, and you drop Mystique to basically get a second Iron Man, and that should be enough. Or, you can play the other one of the 5s and a 1, say a demon, for example, or whatever else. Good. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. That's how you play this list. It's really strong and really worth looking into. And again, you can check out Cam playing it over on his channel. Right after this, we're going to talk about Misery Business. But one last look at this. This is, oh, I don't know why I said Demon, excuse me. I'm so in the habit of running Agent Venom with Demon. You can play as Sable or whatever at that point. This is one of the better decks in Marvel Snap. I cannot urge you to give it a try enough. I've had a lot of success with it thus far. Hey, if you're willing to hit that sub button, I'd really appreciate it. We're at about 14,100, and our goal for the end of the year is 1,500. If you could help us get there, sorry, excuse me, 14,000 to 15,000. Our goal for the end of the year is 15,000. If you could help us get there, it would mean the absolute world to us. We're flying. It's amazing, and I love all the support we're getting. We bring you 4 Marvel Snap decks every single day, some of the best decks in the game from the best players. So this is your one-stop shop for the best decks in the game every single day. We do 7 days a week of videos. We often do 8 or 9 videos in a week. This week will be OTA, so that'll probably be an extra video. You'll probably get an extra OTA video. And in addition, there was an extra video at the start of the week because we exclusively get the top decks from the top players on the Infinite Leaderboard the previous season. And we do a special video at the start of the season for that. Just more Marvel Snap content than anyone. If you find value, if you love Marvel Snap, let's boot men quote. If you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, then please hit that sub button. And if you're willing to help us grow, liking and commenting shows us to more people and enters you to win a season pass. It enters you to win Agent Venom. So Agent Venom is the season pass card. I think he is one of the best season pass cards ever printed in Marvel Snap. Period. Full freaking stop. There's like 3 or 4 better than him ever, and they were all completely broken. Like original Surfer, original Zabu, original Loki, original Elsa. Everything else, I think Agent Venom is as strong as every other season pass card, or better than every other season pass card. This card's incredible. We gave away, I think, 11 season passes so far. 12 season passes so far, because we did one on Obi stream. So if you're interested in winning a season pass, we're giving away 1 a week for the rest of the season. What you have to do to win that is I'm going to ask a question at some point in this video. As long as you're subbed, you comment to answer the question, you're entered to win a season pass. We do one of these every day. One video's comments carries a season pass. You'll find out which probably either Friday or Sunday, pending, time. All right, Ava's The Misery Business. This list is really good. I kept seeing people playing these null versions of Misery decks, and I get it, but Yondu doesn't really work with null the way you want him to anymore, and Gladiator's not killing the stuff that's really big enough to make null. So you're sort of relying on killing a lot of your own stuff to make the Misery null thing work. At that point, just run the damn Red Hulk and you'll be totally fine. Red Hulk is good enough, big enough, strong enough that you don't have to worry about it. But the mill decks aren't running junk, and the junk decks aren't running mill. Why not do both? Why not have an extra play pattern to win is basically what Ava has decided here. Ava has long been the best mill player in the world. When Mill was meta pre-arishem, he was in the top 5-ish, sometimes number 1 on the Infinite Leaderboard with like Mill junk hybrid decks. I think he's genuinely the best at this in the world. But this deck is absolutely sick. This is, I think, the best Misery deck that we've seen so far. I've seen some cool stuff. A lot of people are brewing up some cool stuff with the card, but this is the one that I wanted to feature on day 1 and tell you about because the win rate is huge. I tried it. I love it. I think that this is absolutely incredible. So before we get there, just remember, you're trying to choose a play line. You're not trying to mix and match too much. You're trying to decide, am I going to go junk into Misery or mill into Misery? And sometimes you'll get a sort of mix and match and it won't be ideal. At that point, prioritize junk, but it's fine. Like if you either way is totally fine. If you can run your opponent out of cards, you probably win because you can always junk later when they have very little to do. And they're trying to like sort of like navigate their cards. Once they've drawn the cards though. So the mill gets significantly worse late. All right, so you can find Ava at twitch.tv/Avazord. He is Brazilian, but he streams in both English and Portuguese. So please do check him out. He's a friend of the channel and one of the best players in the world. You need White Widow, Cannonball, Gladiator, and Misery for this list. Again, 4 high series cards, not a million though. Red Hulk can be Magneto, just fine in this, and Sage can be Wolfsbane. I think the Sage Wolfsbane is a major loss, but not the end of the world. In fairness, Sage fairly often ends up with about 8 power. If Sage is going to be 16 power, 12 power regularly, right? You really miss it. But if Sage ends up being 8 power, you're fine versus running Wolfsbane in that spot. All right, so Ava went 22 and 9, 71% into the top 20, and then I played this and just rolled with it. Like this felt the best of every Misery deck I tried. This is 100% a legit list. Please go play it. So turn 1 is generally speaking Hood over Yondu, though again, remember, if you're already seeing magic or you're already seeing other mill pieces, that will change your game plan. Turn 2, Widow over Cable, but again, Cable is a stellar freaking card, especially early. Lets you know what you're playing, lets you know if you can snap. Is your opponent playing junk? Did you just get their Viper? Ooh, snap. Get it? Really, really strong right now. Turn 3, you want magic or debris over gladiator. Please note, no Baron Zemo. You can't play Baron Zemo in a junk build meta, and you're just re-triggering all your mill anyway. So magic or debris over gladiator, and please be warned, you don't especially want to misery gladiator. He's too much power. But you're happy to go Yondu into cable, into gladiator elsewhere, and then misery. Good. Turn 4, if you played magic, you really want to go 3+1. If not, you're perfectly fine going misery. If you didn't play misery, you're going 5+1, and then you're just sort of doing the same thing on turn 6 and 7, depending on the opponent board, right? You're going Red Hulk or Cannonball or Sage Demon into. And that's just basically how you decide to win. Sometimes you can go Sage 2 Demons and then like a Yondu at the end, and you're perfectly fine doing that. So you just do the same thing in turn 6 or 7. You're just trying to figure out how to get enough power down to win. We're going to look at a Black Knight deck shortly after this, but I want to take one last look at this really, really, really sweet deck. You're only hitting a few cards with misery, so be careful when you play this. You're happy to hit Hood, you're happy to hit Yondu, you're happy to hit White Widow, you're happy to hit Cable, you're happy to hit Debris. And once in a while you'll hit Viper just fine. I've been in the habit lately, just a pro tip, of saving Viper till a little later in the game because there's a lot of Viper in the meta right now. There's a lot of junk with the release of Misery in the meta. Goblins are bad, don't run on junk goblins, right? Misery makes your goblins useless. But because so many people are playing junk, if you hold your Viper till after they use their Viper, you often get value that they can't counter. So I'd even consider losing my 5-power Viper for a 7-power Misery in order to get rid of extra stuff. But remember, they're running Misery too, so all good? All freaking good. Also, other Viper tips. You don't have to Viper over Hood or Debris. You can perfectly easily Viper over some White Widow. Like, you're not sad to Viper over White Widow or a Magic or anything else. Especially if you end up misering it to throw that extra card. Once it's clogged, you've basically won because Sage will take that lane for you while you're still able to, like, do some other stuff elsewhere. Really, really, really strong list. Again, give it some work. Give it a try. Hey, if you want to see gameplay from these decks, please, outside of the decks creators, who you should 100% check out, please also check out our friends on the stream team. The stream team is made up of the following people. It is all of my friends who stream and make YouTube videos. Basically, they stream on one day, and then the next day they release a YouTube video of that deck. So Prashaun should have a video up later with yesterday's decks, while GamingwithFlashX will have a video up. Well, sorry, we'll be recording tonight between 9 and 10 Eastern on his Twitch stream if you want to go check out one of the coolest people in Marvel Snap playing some games. Nerf Herders BK. So everyone stopped playing Black Knight, and Nerf Herder was like, but why? Which I think is a really important question to ask, right? Let's not assume that things should or shouldn't be in the meta. This deck is just forgotten about, but it's gotten better because it's forgotten about. While everyone's busy doing other things, you just attack the meta on a different axis. I think this is a really great idea. This is not particularly vulnerable to junk, right? It doesn't care about that kind of stuff. It's instead saying, I'm going to put down so many points, beat me. Beat me if you can. Even if they do manage to junk you, a lot of times they have to damn near clog themselves to clog, and then Nebula is still so good. It's really strong. I don't know how else to put this. It's really strong. You also get the free auto wins, which is 2 cubes, but hey, it's an auto 2 cubes of the about 20% of games that you go Storm, War Machine, Legion. Really cool list. Urge you to give it a try. We've got Nerf Herder playing this list at youtube.com/@NerfHerderMS. I actually don't remember if you put a video of this yet, but Nerf's had great success with this. I think it's a really great idea to attack the meta right now and be able to do something different. I don't know what those replacements are. That's yesterday's replacements. But I'd like to once again shout out Ree for winning the all-women Power On tournament and being an amazing human being, one of my favorite people on Earth. Nebula can be Sunspot here just fine. You can also make Nebula something like White Widow, but I would need it in Sunspot. You do need Black Knight, War Machine, and Legion for this list. And hey, wait a second. That's it. Right? Oh, Cull. Cull can be Crossbones, excuse me. But yeah, Cull can be Crossbones, Nebula can be Sunspot, and you need Black Knight, War Machine, Legion. All good? All good. Sorry about that. All right, so why compete on the same axis? If everyone's running junk, you can run junk and see who can junk each other first, or you can just go, I'm playing big stuff, beat me. I really like the I'm playing big stuff, beat me game plan. So turn 1, Black Knight over Nebula. Blade when you have Infinite or Giganto, but nothing else. Same thing for turn 2, though you're happy to drop armor. Turn 3, Storm, if it gives you a free win. If you have War Machine already, even if you don't have Legion, if you have War Machine already, feel free to Storm. If not, you Lady Sif off, again, the big 6s. Turn 5 is Turn 4 is generally War Machine over Ghost, is, depending on your game plan, equal to Ghost Rider Shard. If you already discarded the Infinite, then War Machine doesn't really have much value anymore. So you can go Ghost Rider Shard, but if you didn't discard Infinite, then War Machine's incredible. And if you didn't, then hopefully you played a 1, because Cull is still in the deck, right? Turn 5, Legion, or you do one of the turn 4 plays, and then turn 6 is either Infinite or Shard / Ghost Rider. All good? Alright, so next up is a top meta Sarah deck, and I'm still doing the thing where I put secret decks at the end. Let me know what you think about that as we take one last look at this Nerf Herder BK deck, which is, again, really strong, really fairly straightforward, but it's got two really clear, obvious win conditions that the meta is not really planned for right now. So I think it's in a really good spot, and I urge you to try it. Hey, season pass question. So I've been sticking secret decks at the end of videos for the last, I don't know, few weeks. Like, they're not secret decks, but like, in order to sort of encourage people to watch more, in addition to the question of the day and some segments at the end, I've been doing a big deck that I think is one of the best decks in the video at the very end. Is that a fair thing to do? Is it like obnoxious that I'm trying to get you to watch longer? By doing that, is that a cool idea? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm not trying to be rude here, so how do you like it? Also, if you're interested in Pokemon Pocket, which is coming out on October 30th, and which you need a VPN to download, but you no longer need a VPN to play, it's basically the Marvel Snap Pokemon, the Pokemon Marvel Snap style game. Please check out my Pocket Meta channel. We haven't released a video in a little bit because, honestly, I want it on my computer so I can spend money on it so I can play the damn good decks before I start going crazy with content. But please do check out our channel and give it some love, and you'll see more of us there as well. We'll be doing our regular season pass giveaway, all the regular stuff there as well. All right, Ika Sarah 2. We shared a version of this a week and a half ago or so, and it's gotten significantly better. Both Ika and Ekmati are playing this into great success at the top of the Infinite Leaderboard, top 100 of the Infinite Leaderboard. Ekmati is higher than Ika, but both are doing really well. This is not a huge win rate deck, but this is a utterly ridiculous cube rate deck. I played it, I was like, I'm losing 1 and 2 cubers, and then I won a few 8s in a row. And I'm just like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do here. When this goes off, the opponent cannot know what you're countering them with until, this deck gets around. But like, if they're not running Luke, your US agent is a cube stealer, right? You're dropping 12 power worth of Mysterio. One of my 8 cubers was a snapback turn 5 Quake into getting moving the kiln into a place where they had filled the kiln in a way I could still come back and beat it, right? And then that kiln was no longer locked up. And the location that I had played Sarah and Gwenpool and something else in was already won. And then I was able to steal the kiln. And stuff like that. It's just, this deck is absolutely stellar. You have to do a bit of counting, but outside of that, this is amazing. This is a top-notch deck. Your Agent Venom and Gwenpool have mild anti-synergy, very mild anti-synergy. You are happy to lose 2 power on Gwenpool and still end up playing it in exchange for all the extra power Agent Venom gives you. But like, you're not as married to Agent Venom as you are in several other decks. If Mysterio and Bishop aren't in the deck, you can choose to Agent Venom, but you could also choose to just drop Invisible Woman. Like, perfectly fine. Like, have at it, have fun. All right, so you can find Ika streaming at twitch.tv/Ika_MTS. This deck needs Agent Venom and US Agent. Hitmonkey can be Sage. I know that's a higher series card, but that's the only replacement. And Gwenpool can be Shang, and that's fairly significantly worse, but it still works just fine. All right, so this did not have 73 win rate in 70 games. That was yesterday's deck that went in this spot. I'm telling you, I'm hiding really powerful stuff. This one has a 1.8 cube rate at top infinite, something stupid along those lines, which is completely wild. So turn 1, you want to pass. Turn 2 is, generally speaking, Agent Venom over Invisible Woman, though it obviously depends on your hand. And that's better than US Agent, which is more or less equal to Quake. I tend to play US Agent first, but Quake is perfectly fine. Turn 3, you want to Bishop over a card behind Invisible Woman, and if you don't do any of that, just dropping Invisible Woman is fine. Turn 4, you would really like to Gwenpool, and if not, you're going 2/2. Turn 5 is Sarah over 3+2. And just very quickly, what we're talking about when we go 2/2, right? Like, let's say we went Agent Venom. Now we can drop an Invisible Woman and Shadow King on turn 4 if we don't see our Gwenpool, right? Turn 5, we don't see Sarah, and like, we need to see something, right? But now we can rogue off something and play US Agent, right? See how this works? There's a million things like that you can do. And then to end the game, ideally you Sarah. You at worst just play Mysterio and Hitmonkey. And if you Agent Venom them, that's 12 plus 4, 16 plus another 6 is a 22 power last turn. But you can do so much more than that if you Sarah. Sarah alone is a snap condition in this list if you have combos in hand. If you have enough power in your hand, Sarah is an absolutely absurd snap condition. Also, if you can ever, I don't even care if you Sarah, if you can, if you get Bishop down, then you go Gwenpool. If you go Agent Venom, Bishop, Gwenpool, and then you hit Mysterio at all after the Agent Venom to Mysterio, you're just going to win, right? You just got a 2-cost Doom on top of everything else. This deck is wildly good. Please, please, please play it. It's got a million combos and it's super strong and it's relatively cheap. Custom card challenge. Oh my god, it's a custom card challenge, friends. Yeah, I stuck the custom card challenge at the end today. So hopefully you enjoy some Marvel Snap custom cards. Our first winner of the symbiote version, symbiote and destroy version of this is Lasher from Longbones. It is on reveal, pull the lowest power card from your hand here and destroy it. So Lasher has sort of like tendrils that he uses to grab, and I think that's really cool and thematic. This only goes in destroy decks, but I think it's incredibly strong in destroy decks. Generally speaking, you want to hit X23 or Deadpool with this, right? But there's a reasonable chance of you hitting a good amount of other cards with this. That makes some sense. You're not sad to hit the card that's coming out at the end of the month that's named now escapes me, Agony, which is a 1/2 that when you play the next card there gives +2/2. You're fine just using it that way. Sometimes you're gonna have something of reasonable power, like you can grab a Killmonger, get your Destroy from Killmonger, and get that out. Very, very, very cool card that adds some variability to Destroy. I love it, and Longbones even gave us 2 really, really cool variants for it. I also like the idea of having a green symbiote in the game after the red and black ones. The other is Poisoned Wit's Bride of Venom, and I think that this is cool. These are destroy cards, right? They don't go in destroy decks, so we don't have the long, like, what do you do with this? After each turn, destroy one of your other cards here and gain +2 power. If no other cards are present, destroy this. Really cool, right? Like, really cool. This works really great with Null, works really great with Junk. Eventually, you have to figure out how to keep it on the board. So I'm not even like 1000% sure this is good late in the game, but like maybe you just let it destroy itself to make your death cheaper, and then you can go to town that way. Really cool. And this card is like absolutely in love with Hood. It's so happy with Hood. It's almost like a sort of delayed Carnage. Carnage meets Atuma. Wonderful idea from Poisoned Wit. And since there was only one variant, I didn't want to give it its own page, so I stuck it here. But super cool. Congrats to our winners, Longbones, for the awesome Lasher, and Poisoned Wit for the Bride of Venom, which is like just a great idea. Love these ideas. Thank you. Our next challenge is going to be Halloween. And yes, I'm leaving it vague on purpose. And the keyword is our dear friend's choice. If you want to participate, please join Drewberry's Discord. It's linked in the description of this video. And if you want to make your own custom cards, snaptracker.me/custom. This is going to be due on 10/28 because I plan to release the video on it on Halloween. All right, questions of the day, and then we're done. Ezla asks how and when I check to snap. After locations, after playing cards, after seeing draws. All right, so the most common time I snap is after locations. Generally speaking, I will either play a card or see a location and snap. I'm telling you, Sokovia is my least favorite thing in the world. Whenever I do that, I draw a card and snap. I basically guarantee myself a Sokovia for that to mess up, sometimes even immediately after I've snapped. But generally speaking, I see location that really benefits my deck. I know I have card that really benefits that, and I snap on that advantage. That is my most common snap, but I do check at multiple times per every single turn to snap. What have they played? Is what they're playing me giving me the information that I can always beat this, or that I can usually beat this? If so, snap. Models asked how Pink was. I just definitely wrote a 1 instead of an exclamation point. Oopsie. I went to see Pink with my wife last week, about almost a week ago now. We had a lovely time. Pink was really, really great. A band I didn't know opened, and then Sheryl Crow also performed. I thought Sheryl Crow was terrible. I don't actually like any of her music, but Pink was kind of delightful. She also sang one of my favorite songs in the world, which is Me and Bobby McGee. It's a Janis Joplin song. If you don't know it, listen to it. And that sort of made my night, but my wife had an absolute blast. We had a good time. It was a lovely date night for us. And then finally, the Splits issue. Second, Lauren Whatevs along with Snap. Oh my god, I just lost his name. Snap Variants on Twitter ran a bunch of math and showed that we were getting less gold, ink, and crackle splits than we should have based on the revealed numbers. And that was a problem, so they brought it to Second Dinner's attention. It became a big Twitter thing. They're in the creator program, or Lauren's in the creator program, so they were made aware that way. Second Dinner looked into it, found that they pushed character mastery is apparently still coming, and they accidentally pushed a part of character mastery out that was breaking things. And so, as of the next update, which should be not this Thursday, right? It should, because this isn't an OTA update. It should be next Tuesday, and I'll let you know if it's happening for sure. The split rates are going to go up to the highest they've ever been for gold, ink, and crackle, which means you have once you've got a bunch of splits, you've got like a 35% chance of a god split, which is through the roof. So stop splitting things. If you get a card to where you could split it, once you max it, stop and wait like a week. And then when you split it, you're going to have a really great chance of getting that split you've always wanted, which is so cool. I love that fix. It makes me really happy. That update is not going to last forever, though. It's going to last until they say like December. So they want it to last for about the same time as their mess up lasted. And it seems like character mastery might be close, which is even freaking cooler. Friends, we have a Patreon, and on our Patreon, we give thanks to our $10 tier patrons. I'm going to say thank you to Abigail Kiesland. Hey, Abigail. Mandatory Burnout, regardless, it's a word. David G. Wingfield, I still don't remember the G. Dire Wolf, LAB, always kind. FaThorNewman, check him out on YouTube and Twitch. Good Dog Gamer, he's a good dog and a gamer. Ink, hello Ink, Graphite Fan. I am Frostman, he is. Jay Nevery, hello Jay. Corwin, who does not live in Utah. Brian, the sponsor of Snap Justice League Season 2. Ryan Burke of Burke Avenue, where I grew up. Here, Tixley, the King of Questions. Koirei, coming all the way from Japan. The Black Dahlia, my current Alliance leader. Pyro, hey Pyro Feroz. The Goat Seeker, some more of our Alliance leaders. Denman Falcon, you should check out on YouTube for wonderful split content. Archangel 3K, welcome back, friend. Hollowed, who's, oh my god, just messaged me where this is from, and I lost it in my brain. Tell me again. Quid Pro Joe, hey Quid Pro Joe. Docty, the king of new Marvel Snap card content. Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, hey Ginge, Philip Rakovich, who does all of our wonderful shorts, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, one of the OGs, the notorious Bizza, X-Force V, and Skippy G. Tommy Nyquist, who won Snapchat's League Season 1, the King of Bros, bro, the Great Kazoo, Jess, hello Jessica Gamble, Woody, what's up, Kev, C, Hoda, Luna, Chris, cool names, but Q-Town, Quantum Quinn, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Clam, 8th Sage, Mod Supreme Models, Darth Tater, Joe P, who's no Joe K, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, and the person running our deck archive, Jason B, J.D. McDonaldinho, D. Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, woo, Matt H, we only need one, DJ Maggie Hijinks, No Freaking Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, B. G. Jonesy, check out the Triple Threat, y'all, Two Ties, the Great Lauren Devs, the Pirate King Tuccrr, the Homie Minute, of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. Hope you enjoyed this video tonight, and I will see you tomorrow for 2 videos. Thanks, and have a beautiful night. Peace.